Hey everybody, it's Clayton from Thegoal60.com. Just breaking down all the Power 5 conferences. This is video 4 of 5. This is the Big 12. So if you haven't watched the other conferences, please do so. The links will be below in the description. And also links to some videos I did last year on the betting basics. So check those out, like and share those. And so we'll just jump right in. So as you know from watching the other videos, or if this is your first one, I'll go ahead and go over it. So I come up with a projected rating for each team on offense and defense for rushing and passing of each side. And then I go through, and the way I've come up with these predictions on the win totals for each team is I go through each week of the schedule, and I pretty much come up with who's the winner based off of talent, where the game falls in the schedule, and home field advantage. So obviously this is all on paper, so it's a perfect world on how I come out with these. Things will happen, injuries will happen. It's the first week of August, so a lot of suspensions and things for players have not occurred, but that always happens right before the season. So just looking forward to the season and how it's going to shake out. Every week this season I will have a video, probably come out on Wednesday or Thursday, for a few games that week and breaking the matchups and how I think that game's going to finish. So just jumping right in, this is the Big 12. This year, the Big 12 is going back to a championship game, just like the other Power 5 conferences. The only difference is the Big 12 has a lot less, or not a lot less, but less teams, which will mean that everybody plays a round robin and the top 2 teams play for the championship. I have bought into the hype, I guess you could say, on some of these teams, but others I think will be a change and won't see coming. So first off, I have Oklahoma State having the best record in the round robin. I have 7 returns on offense and 5 on defense for them. I have them projected going 12-0, 9-0 during the regular season in the conference. The over-under that Vegas has put out is 9 wins, with the over being -140, the under being +110. So obviously with 12 versus the 9 that Vegas says, I see a 3-game difference. The over is the value there, even though you're paying the juice of -140. Next up, I have Oklahoma. So obviously with the Oklahoma State and Oklahoma, they moved the game up to November, earlier in November. So in case this would happen, and I do think it's going to happen the very first year, I see Oklahoma State playing Oklahoma in the championship game. So a rematch from the previous game, but I see Oklahoma bringing back 9 offensive starters and 7 on defense. I have them going 10-2, 8-1 in the conference, with a 9.5 game total out of Vegas, the over being -140, the under being +110. I don't see a value on either way. I'm only a half a game difference there. TCU I have finishing 3rd with 10 offensive starters, including their quarterback, and 7 on defense. I have them going 10-2, 7-2 in the conference, with a 7.5 game total coming out of Vegas. I have the over being -135, the under being +105. If you were fortunate enough to jump on this back in the summer, you had some value there with the over. But if you take it right now, you're going to pay a little juice at -135. Texas, I have finishing 4th in Tom Herman's first year as coach. They bring back 7 on offense, 10 on defense. So obviously that defense is going to be better. The offense will be okay with a very good quarterback in his second year of the program. I have them going 8-4, 6-3 in the conference. 7-5 is the total from Vegas, with the over being shaded at -150 and the under being +120. I don't see any value there, so I would skip out on taking one of those bets. Kansas State, I have finishing at 7-5, 4-5 in the conference, bringing back 8 on offense and 6 on defense. The over-under is 8, so I'm only 1 game difference there. The over is shaded at -155 and the under at +125. So if you did take the value off of this projection, you'd take the under at +125. Iowa State, I see having a lot better year than they have been the last few. I see them going to a bowl game this year. They return 5 on offense, 6 on defense, and they've got a very good coach. I see them going 7-5, 4-5 in the conference, and with a 5.5 game projection out of Vegas, with the over being +120 and the under being minus 150, the value is definitely in the over at plus 120. Baylor comes in at 6-6, 3-6 in the conference with a new coach, a very good coach, but a totally different system. So I see that being a little bit of a change. They do have talent, obviously, but getting used to a little bit more physical system. I don't think he's going to change a ton. I think he will keep. He's very good at taking what talent he has and building around that, his offense and defense. So they will be okay, but I still want 6-6, 3-6 in the conference. They return 6 on offense, 7 on defense, and Vegas has them at 7.5 with the over at plus 100 and the under at minus 130. I think even with the juice, you take the under. West Virginia brings back 5 offensive starters on offense and 3 on defense. Now, one of those starters on offense that is not accounted for because he's a transfer in is Will Greer from Florida. I think he is going to be a game changer for West Virginia. I just don't see them with enough talent, and the way the schedule plays out, I see them going 6-6, 3-6 in the conference. With a line of 7 from Vegas, the over is minus 130, while the under is plus 100. If you're going to go a direction, I personally wouldn't, but if I was going to, I'd probably take the even money with the under. Texas Tech has a terrible year this year. I think Cliff is on his way out personally. They bring back 7 on offense, 6 on defense, losing Patrick Mahomes, which is a great quarterback from last year. And I see them going 3-9, 1-8 in the conference with a 5.5 game total from Vegas. The over is plus 100, the under is minus 130, and I would take the under even minus the 130. Kansas brings back 8 on offense, 5 on defense. So I see them going 3-9, 0-9 in the conference. I do think they'll be more competitive. I just don't think that they're going to win any conference games. They did upset Texas last year. I do have them winning 3 games, which is even better than last year. But at the same time, I see them being all 3 non-conference games with the conference being tough and it being very competitive. I just don't see them doing anything again this year. I do think they've got a good coach. I think he's okay. He's just got a tough situation. I can't imagine trying to recruit to the middle of Kansas and, competing with Kansas State and the tradition that Bill Snyder's built there. Recruiting is extremely tough, and I just don't see them having that type of season. 2007 was really the last time they had a really good year, and Mark Mangino was the coach, and when they were ranked all the way at number 3 or number 2 actually in the nation with that crazy season that was 2007. So I don't see them doing anywhere near that this year. I see them going 3-9, again 0-9 in the conference. Oklahoma rematches with Oklahoma State for the championship game, and this time I think it's tough to beat a team twice. In this case, that comes true. Oklahoma wins, finishing 11-2 in the conference, but with 2 losses, that keeps them out of the Final Four, and the Big 12 is the Power 5 conference that's left out of the playoffs. So that's how I see the Big 12 finishing up. I see no team going to the playoffs, but a very good, tough year for the 2 Oklahoma teams. A very good fall year and good schedules there, and coming out on top and going some very good bowl games. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you on the next video.